What's up, guys? Welcome back to the weekly scraps.
This guy, are you done?
We're back in the office with Jake Fine. We're here. UFC 273 is upon us. It's getting close. Just a couple days out at this point, and obviously we had UFC Columbus, some good fights. But before we even get into that, just touching base with fight week stuff and the recapping of training.
Yeah, you've been
How
killing
good that
it.
was. Been freaking grinding, man. So I'm super pumped, super excited. I think the fans are really in for a good show in a couple weeks for UFC 273.
Your fans are like, I'm seeing them in numbers now. Like, they're excited as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm seeing way more support for you than all this crap people have been saying.
Yeah, I think the narrative is starting to shift a little bit, which is pretty cool to see. I think people were just frustrated that I haven't been able to compete, and obviously it's just been a lot of talking, and so I get that. But at the same time, it's like I can only do what I can do, and I'm just glad I'm finally almost back. Knock on wood, please. The MMA gods in heavens, let's not let anything crazy happen these next few days.
How shitty would that be?
Oh, that would be so deflating. I think I would just be, I might be retired at that point. Joking,
Dude,
but
dude,
I would feel retired.
That would suck. That would suck.
Dana would be not pleased.
They'd have to do an interim belt.
No, I think they'd probably strip me if I'm being honest.
Oh, there already was an interim belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd definitely probably just strip me at that point. And I'm like, this motherfucker can't make it back to the cage. I'm like, listen, man. I'm like Mr. Potato Head. I'm falling apart, you know?
Just don't tell him if you're injured.
Nah, if I were to get injured, I'm making the fight no matter what.
Just
the,
go in
the
and
ships
get,
have sailed. I gotta just go compete at this point. I was gonna do the same thing for
just you talking
October.
about this. They're probably gonna be like, "Oh, he's injured. He's trying to find a way out."
No. The crazy people will.
Yeah.
The tinfoil hats would probably do that. But the last one for October, I even told my roommates, I was like, dude, I can't get past the round. And I told them, like, I think I'm going to just go out there and just wing it.
That would have been a horrible idea.
No, they said the same thing. They was like,
why?
They literally go, but why? You don't have to. And I go,
then,
listen, though, I feel like I'm backed into a corner because I feel like I have to fight or else. And they're like, but you don't. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it feels like or else. I feel like they just wouldn't accept me, that I needed more time, even though it wasn't my fault that the doctor said I needed more time. And clearly my body is telling me that I need more time. So that's just how I felt back then. So I'm glad they actually obliged to it. Sean Shelby was really cool about it. So I want to make sure I'm definitely clear on that. And he completely understood because he has herniated disc in his neck. And he's the matchmaker for the UFC for 135, I think 155, and a couple other weight classes.
Oh, that's sick.
So we have like a love-hate relationship, I would say. I think he liked me, then hated me, then liked me
When
again.
did he hate you?
And when I was a first a free agent, or when I first fought out my first contract when I was 4-0. And some of the storylines, as you know, with the media, the way they spin things, they were trying to make it seem like I was playing the race card, comparing myself to Sage Northcutt, because he was getting 40-40 after coming off that looking for a fight. And I was like, I'm a good-looking dude. He's a good-looking dude. He's got a lot of muscles. I got a lot of muscles. I'm actually beating top guys in the world. Why is he getting paid this much and I'm not? Like, just let me know what it is. I'm like, he's got blonde hair. He's good talking. He's a well-spoken guy. I think I'm well-spoken. And I was just like, what am I doing wrong here? Like, please just explain to me what I'm doing wrong so that I can fix what's going on. And they took that and they spun it as if that's what I was getting. I was like, dude, if that's what you're in the back of your mind and that's what you're thinking, that's on you. That sounds like a personal issue that you have, that you're maybe not comfortable in your own skin.
Like you weren't insinuating that, but they jumped to that
conclusion,
so
which
you're thinking
only
that,
shows like, well, maybe there's something to that, you know. But that's just the way I was looking at it. But I was like, dude, no way. I was just wondering, like, I'm trying to leverage my situation. I'm like, I'm 4-0, 3 finishes in a row, dude. Let me get 40-40. Even though it's not groundbreaking money, but I'll take that all day long compared to what I was getting 16 and 16.
3 times.
No, 14 and 14 I was getting.
Jeez.
So I'm like, dude, I just beat 3 guys in a row, all top 10, and I finished all 3 of those guys.
In your first 4 fights?
In my first 4 fights.
Holy crap, dude! How many UFC fights have you had?
Wait, let me. I finished 2 guys in a row that were top 10. Mizugaki, but I finished 3 guys in a row. I finished 3 guys in a row. Cody Gibson, decision, my UFC debut. Hugo Vienna went to a decision. No, I finished him in the 3rd round, ground and pound. Bad ground and pound too. And then Takeya Mizugaki, 6th in the world. Finished him arm triangle from bottom in the 3rd round. And then I finished Johnny Eduardo in the 2nd round with some vicious ground and pound into a decapitation of a guillotine. So Jeez. That's all I want. I was like, Sage Northcutt is fighting these cans and I'm fighting these tough guys. Like, dude, I think what I'm asking for is really fair here. Like, just explain to me why he's getting that and why I'm getting what I'm getting.
Did they give it to you?
No.
Damn.
There's no, like, I didn't have direct negotiations with them and getting to talk and figure that out. So
did you get more than what they offered you?
I think we settled on, I think I got 26 and 26 or 30 and 30. I would have to double check.
Let's not get into the fighter. I don't want you to. I don't want them to not like you.
I mean, whatever at this point. But yeah, I got 30 and 30 for my 2nd contract, and now I lost the next 2 fights. 2 split decisions in a row to Brian Caraway and then Rafael Santel. But yeah.
Do you feel like you lost those fights?
No.
You never think you lost a fight.
Just the Marlon Moraes one. Like, there's nothing I can say about that.
So
I know I made a mistake, but it's not like the mistake was like he set something up and caused me to zig instead of zagging. It was just literally me doing something completely out of the blue, over irrational, or should I say over emotional, and him just throwing something that he normally throws, and I just ran face first into it. But it's legit. He threw it, he won. The other ones were like, I outstruck these guys, and I lost the fight. And even the Caraway fight, I outstruck him. And then the first round, there should have been a 10-8. I had 4 minutes of control time and almost finished him twice with a full Nelson and a rear naked choke. So it's just like, I don't know. Those are learning lessons, but I don't look at them as like, oh man, you got your ass kicked. Like you got a lot to like. Those aren't losses. You know, when someone gets their ass kicked, it's like, yo, bro, you
didn't
lost
feel like,
that fight
because like you felt like you could have like it, depending on who was judging, you could have won that.
Exactly.
Fight. Yeah.
2 split decisions in a row.
That's okay.
You know, so.
Yeah, but you're not saying like. You're not. Never mind. I was just.
I'm not Amalia. I'm undefeated. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
not that guy.
Yeah. I was
like
trying to clarify.
I recognize that I lost, but I get what O'Malley was saying with that. Like he feels like that was such a fluky thing that he doesn't feel like he was beaten.
Well,
and it's kind of like what people are saying about Jan and myself.
Shit?
Like, oh, you didn't actually beat him. You know, he lost by the rules. So it's like whatever. Technicalities.
But you were telling me earlier that you don't feel like you lost that fight.
No.
Like, is that you talking shit?
I mean, technically, I didn't lose.
Because you've said it. Well, no, hold on, stop. Because I
didn't lose.
You've said 2 different things to me Well, they were both on camera.
Well, it depends on what you're saying.
But no, the public hasn't seen these videos yet. But
no.
But today you
but
said
none of them I said I lost.
No.
I've never once said I
said,
lost. Like I clearly won, but I was losing. It's 2 different things.
You said Peter Yan was on his way to win the fight.
Yes.
And then today you've said you don't feel like you lost the fight.
But those are 2 different questions. You see what I'm saying? So it's not the
No,
same.
okay. I'm just I'm
so
trying to understand the inner workings of Aljo.
No, I mean I think it's pretty simple.
I'm the filmmaker, you know.
Yeah. Did you lose to Peter Yan? It's like, well, technically no. That's the correct answer. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
But you felt like he was
But I
on
feel
his
like
way to
if
winning.
he didn't blow it, if he didn't miss the free throw, if he didn't drop the game-winning touchdown, if he didn't miss the field goal to clutch at 30-yard lines, you know what I mean? If he didn't miss the open shot where the goalie was out of the net, that he won the game. But he didn't. So at the end of the day, I didn't.
He fucked it up
lose.
for himself.
He fucked it up for himself. So it's like, if you're gonna ask me if I lost, I'm like, no, I didn't lose. But if you're gonna ask me if I was getting my ass kicked, I'm like, yeah, the tides were turning, and I was starting to get my ass kicked. Like I can say that no problem. Like I have no issue saying that whatsoever. I've been saying that since the very beginning too. So
I have a question for you.
Take it easy.
I think this is an interesting topic. The other night, during the fight night, they were promoting your fight with Peter Yan, and they promoted the they showed the stats.
Yes.
Now, you say they got the striking numbers wrong. I don't want to touch on that. My question is, it said he was 7 for 7 on takedowns. Do you think like judo throws and trips should be counted as the same thing as like a single and double leg?
Nah, it's different. If it's like a wrestling match, you would count that because it's a wrestling match. But he didn't actively shoot.
No, that's why I'm asking.
Going in for a takedown. But at the same time, in that same breath, if you go in for a step and sweep and your goal is to get the fight to the ground, I'd be like, yeah, you were going for it. That was your takedown. But if you just kick my ankle out and I just fall over, that's right. I wouldn't count that as a takedown because it's like how many people slip and fall because you caught a kick. Does that count as a takedown? It's like it doesn't make any sense.
Because weren't some of I haven't watched the fight in a few months, but wasn't it like some of them he just kicked your leg from under you?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even like he grabbed you and tripped you.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Pretty much.
So to me, that should be counted just as a different thing.
Yeah, I don't know what category you'd count it as though.
Throws. Or trips and throws as another category. But I guess
sweeps.
Because there's like judo takedowns and there's wrestling takedowns.
But those weren't even like any of those. Some of them were, but none of them were like straight up like a Oshigari or Uchimata type of thing or a headlock. Yeah. None of those were like that or body locks or double legs, single legs. It wasn't any of that. I think there was one in there that was like he stepped behind and he grabbed my head. And my head and arm, and he stepped behind and he just kicked my leg out. That I would count as a legit judo takedown.
That's the one I'm.
That one I would consider like that's cool.
Because if you look at the 7 for 7, and then the 1 for 17, it looks like, and people literally look at the stats, and they'll be like, Aljo can't grapple with Peter Yan.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. We're gonna find out in a couple of days, so. I know I've been working my ass off and training hard, so at the end of the day, cream rises to the top. And it's MMA. Anything can happen. So I feel very, very confident and comfortable that I'm going to win this fight. And I think I'm going to make it look easy. And people can quote this and throw it back in my face if I don't, because at the end of the day, I really do feel that way. But like I said, it's MMA. It's a fight. Anything can happen in terms of a puncher's chance. But if this guy grapples with me, if he makes a mistake of grappling with me, he's going to have no choice. Like, I'm going to literally walk him down again, but this time I'm going to actually have the gas tank, and I'm going to be able to keep my hands up the entire time. And what happens then? That's all I want to know.
This is what I've been saying to my friends. Like, what happens when Aljo successfully takes him down and floats on top of him for 4.5 minutes straight?
He's gonna be exhausted.
And then he gets up and tries to do his whole reading thing from a tired position. Yeah.
And that's a real thing, man. Fatigue. That's why I like to grapple guys early, because everyone's strong in that first round. Everyone can crack. But I mean, it's no secret. I'm not coming out there to strike with you. Like I said, the last one was I came out to scum this guy, and that's why I went so crazy in the first round. That crazy. Because I was just like, I just got to get this guy out of here because I don't have the gas tank right now.
Exactly. Yeah, you tried to switch up your game plan.
Yeah. So that was it. So it is what it is. People could take that with a grain of salt and just say, oh, Jan is just a better fighter. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, I have no argument to that other than we'll see. It's just that simple. And now we're literally closing in on the days. And I think that's what makes this super exciting. I know we were talking about people that get super nervous earlier. And I definitely get nervous before the fights. I think it's normal. I think you should. Mm-hmm. Because getting nervous before the fights means that you're, I think, alive and you're in tune with your body and understanding what's at stake in the sense of you're getting ready to competition. Like your nerves firing keeps everything sharper.
Yeah, they say it means you care about what's about to happen.
Yeah, and it turns up your safety mechanisms in terms of self-defense, survival instincts, fight or flight, everything, a heightened sense of security. Your nerves, you almost get this zoned in where you kind of block everything out and you kind of just get that tunnel vision. And I think people that compete understand what that's like. You can do it in the practice room all you want, but once the pressure comes on with the lights above your head beaming on you, and then you got the cage, you got all the cameras in your face, it's a lot, man. People don't realize how much like you need to be dialed in. Like you think, oh, you're good because you're in the room. Okay, I've seen guys that are in the room that are hammers. They go out there and they do not perform. Do not perform. So it's all about what you do under those bright lights for me.
So you're not sitting here nervous about that fight looming in the distance, but you think walking into the arena, everybody gets nervous.
Yeah, 100%.
But you're not losing sleep over the fight.
No. You're not getting nervous in the sense of like I don't want to fight like that.
Yeah.
You get nerves like, man, I really want to make sure I do good. I want to make sure, did I do everything I was supposed to do? What if he does this? What if she does that kind of thing? So you start thinking about those type of things. And I think that's all natural. That's normal because you want to succeed. You want to win. And at the end of the day, that's what we're doing this for. So for me, I love competing. I've been competing since 10th grade in high school as a wrestler. I played other sports and stuff. But those are sports you could blame someone else easily. This is so different. Like, it's one-on-one. So at the end of the day, he's got 2 hands. I got 2 hands. He's got 2 feet. I got 2 feet. So it's just like, what's the difference? And it's who executes the best. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. And it's going to come down to heart. And it's going to come down to who really wants it more. Because it's going to get to a point, I do think, in that fight where we're going to have some positions of battle where you can feel like, you ever see like Goku and Vegeta when they hit the Hadoukens? So it's like one guy shooting this thing out of his hand, the other guy shooting something out of his hand. It's almost like your energy, your chi.
Like in Harry Potter with Harry Potter and Voldemort.
Yes, it's almost like, yeah. So they're conflicted. So now they're bouncing off of each other, and one is trying to get like that jockey, almost like tug of war in another practical sense. And you could kind of feel the other person start to wilt a little bit. So when we're in these positions and one of us got to concede, either I'm not getting a takedown or he's going to concede that he is getting taken down. And then if he does stop the takedown, okay, I got out of that one. Now what about the second? What about the third? And again, people are going to say, well, he did it last time. I'm like, dude, I can only say this so many times. I was not myself that day. But again, when it gets back to that, the same thing happens in sparring. I don't take these guys down right away. The first takedown I shoot, Merab stops the first, sometimes 1 through 5 or 1 through 6 takedowns against me. But I just constantly keep shooting. And eventually when I get him down, good things happen. I get to mount. I get to a dominant side control position. I get to back control. I get submissions against him and other guys. And when you're switching the guy fresh halfway through the round, it lets you feel like, okay, I'm literally fighting 2 people in one training session, and it lets me know where I'm really at physically and
sometimes,
mentally as well.
Sometimes you'll have him like against the fence, and we're talking about Merab too.
Yeah,
that's
he's got a crazy gas.
Which it's so crazy that you two train at the same gym because like that's so like 2 of the top bantamweights in the world, grapplers. But like sometimes you'll work on you'll have his legs, but it takes you a minute just to get him to the ground.
Yeah, because it's a fight.
And you guys are actually duking it out in there, like.
And that's the battle right there.
Yeah.
Where someone's got to give in to the position, and even if he gets out, then we reset the position, and I got to do it again. So I'm doing that with him, and then he'll jump out, and then a fresh guy is jumping in, and then I got to do that with him, and then Merab gets a break, and he comes back, and I got to do it to him again. So that's my confidence right there, which lets me know, like, yo, you can keep this pace. One guy, 25 minutes or less, and if I could be able to do what I'm doing in the room, I think I'm going to have a field day with this guy. I really do.
That's my logic, too. Like, looking at it from my perspective, like, if you can take, I mean, this is MMA math, but if you can do that to Merab over and over again and compete with him, I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop you.
Yeah. And obviously you're throwing with more bad intentions. So Jan's going to be throwing knees, uppercuts, trying to catch me coming in kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm not worried about it in the sense of like, oh my God, it's keeping me up at night. It is what it is. Whatever happens is going to happen. And at the end of the day, I know I put the work in, and that's all that matters. Just making sure I show up healthy, show up refueled this time, and then just let the better guy walk out of the octagon, and that's it. So that's all I can do. Control what I can control, and then leave the rest up, as they say, to God or Allah or whoever you pray to. But for me, the man above. So I'm excited.
Do you want to talk about this Will Smith shit?
Oh man, that was crazy. So the Oscars, unfortunately, guys, I was not nominated. I really thought I had it locked up for my last event, but unfortunately, I didn't get selected. So
Best actor.
yeah, I thought I was gonna get something like best supporting actor or a best leading role, but I got none of the above.
No.
I got none of the above. But Will Smith, man, I don't know.
I did not see that coming. I should have though.
It was just crazy how he just smacked the fire out of Chris Rock, and I like Chris Rock, and I love Will too. Love Denzel. Love those guys. Those guys are like some of the best guys, especially for me, African American. So to see guys like that who are so successful, it's pretty cool, and to see their portfolio of the things that they have accomplished. But for me, I get it. I get where Will is coming from in terms of the rough year or so he's had with his persona in the public eye and his relationship and his family business. So it's kind of shitty.
I mean, yeah, you have a wifey thing, like I could like that has to be relatable for guys. Like if someone talks about your woman and you see her, Jada was visibly upset.
Yeah.
He had to go do something. I mean, I understand it. And apparently, I just saw this thing on Instagram. Diddy said that they squashed the beef right after.
Yeah. I'm
Like
pretty
they were
sure.
cool. So
Out of bed, but I gotta slap you back though, right? Even if it's look. I'm glad though because those guys are two top guys. We don't need people like that attacking each other when they could be coming together and bringing more to the community. And I think they could do more good together than apart from each other. So I'm glad Will was able to bring himself to that and understanding that I'm pretty sure he acknowledged that he was wrong in that exact situation. But my thing is to expect that everyone should react the way that you're going to react. That's the tough part. And I know some people were saying that was a bitch move, but it was just like, when is it a good, like, that's my only thing is like, you attack someone in a way where they can't do anything, or it would be shunned upon if they did something in that setting. And it's just like, imagine if I go to an open house, right? We're realtors. We both go to an open house and you're shitting on me in front of my client, talking about my numbers and things that I can't or cannot do. And you're making me look bad. And it's just like, well, you're taking money off of my plate by trying to, I don't want to say slander, but you're trying to tear down my image in front of this person to build yourself up. And I don't think that's right. So it's just like, so in what setting do I get to slap the shit out you? It's like, you know what I mean? So.
And then, like, where's that line? Yeah. If you're making fun of a woman's disease.
Yeah.
Like.
And I get it. People were saying it's a harmless joke. Like, I know people even from my gym that were kind of like, yeah, it was just a joke. I'm like, I get it, but it's like, you don't know what they're dealing with or what they're going through for them emotionally for you to be like, oh, it's just a joke. Because for you, it's just a joke. Doesn't mean for them it should be just a joke. Because maybe they take it in a different way and it affects them a different way. The same way if I eat chocolate when I'm doing my weight cut and you can't because you can't lose the weight, it affects you in a different way. Like, obviously, that's a crazy analogy, but it's just like, we're different people.
Right.
Different strokes for different folks.
Right.
I like girls that are slim, whatever, a nice booty. Some people might like big tits. They might like a flat ass. You know what I mean? So it's different strokes for different folks. So I get that. So what you like might not be what I like. What offends me might not offend you at all.
Well, of course it. Like the guys who are saying that at your gym, like, of course it doesn't offend them. Like, it's not about them.
Yeah.
You know? Like.
Until it is.
Yeah. Like, that's Will Smith, best actor, the real best actor.
Beat me. Fuck.
Then at the Oscars, that's the only thing people actually watch on TV.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you think he's going to do? Like, I mean, it's kind of bogus for Chris Rock to put him in that situation where it's like, I'm going to make fun of your wife come do something about it. Like, you can't do shit about it.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm saying, like, I get both sides of the coin. Like, I'm not saying Will Smith was right.
No.
And I do not think Chris Rock was wrong. And I saw some people on Twitter saying the Oscars and those type of things, they need to go back to just being what they are. The Grammys, like, stop trying to make jokes.
Yeah, why? I was just about to say, why are you making... The whole show is
It's not a
making
comedy
fun
show.
of everybody.
Yeah, it's not a comedy show.
It's just weird. Like,
So...
That's a bad vibe.
And I think they're going to have a very good learning lesson from this and realize, like, yo, not everyone's going to be willing to tolerate that shit. And even if it didn't happen right then and there, like, say security was there and Will wasn't right in the front and couldn't have walked right up to the stage, he sees him in the back room, probably does the same exact thing. Then people still say it was right. Like, it's still the same thing. He still slapped this guy pretty damn hard and sat on that punch. He gave a nice little pivot.
The way he danced with it was like yeah, it was like weird looking.
Fix my blazer back. All right, I'm going back to my seat.
He did it in Will
Smith.
He looked
back.
fashion.
He looked behind, like make sure he wasn't about to run up on him. Like, all right, you ain't doing shit. All right, cool.
But dude, honestly, the way Chris played it off though,
it was good. He handled that a lot better than I would, because I would have saw red.
Oh yeah,
I would have saw red.
They say you either feel like that. Tell me if this is true. They say you either feel super like sad when you get hit like that, or like super angry. Is that true? Or maybe that's when you get like clocked and knocked out. Maybe that's what they mean. I've only been kicked in the nuts.
I think your fight or flight senses just kick in. It's like, what are you gonna do about it? I think that's really more so what it is. I don't know if you get more angry or more. I don't know. For me, I think your fight or flight kicks in, and it's just, what are you gonna do about it? And that's what I was talking about, like the nerves and everything walking to the fight. So I get it. I get both sides, man. Will shouldn't have smacked that man that way. Chris should not have made fun of another man's wife with a disease. Imagine if it was cancer. Like, people would say, "Oh, she's just balding. It's not that serious." I'm like,
that's a sensitive subject. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. I think he could have made fun of Jada in just have it not have been her hair.
Yeah.
And then it would have been fine, you know. But it's just, someone has a disease.
Yeah.
Or a disorder. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it is, so I don't want to speak on it. But
right.
Yeah, if she made fun of her, like, her acting or something like that, I'm pretty sure that's okay. But even, again, going back to, like, the Grammys, the Oscars, it should not be about making jokes. This is not your stand-up show.
But really, though, this is all, like, a fake thing to stir up controversy, to distract us from the real shit that's going on.
What's that?
Like, you know, Hollywood's a cult.
Yes.
And
I've heard this before.
They're basically, like, using this as a religious ceremony, so they had to sacrifice Will's public image. Yeah, so they were like, they probably have Will doing some crazy shit, and then
I know.
They have him on tape doing some crazy shit at Kitty Island. No, okay.
You will slap this man or else.
And they're like, dude, you see this picture right here? We're gonna put this out if you don't. Hey, we got this video. We got this video of Jada with a different guy.
Oh, we know you were at that island. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't get into those type of conspiracies, man. Those things consume you, and you start going down these rabbit holes, and you start thinking everything that you see is real or everything.
On the way, yeah.
I'm like, it just can never end, you know?
On the drive to from Chicago to New York to film, Nelk put out a podcast with Alex Jones, and it was like 2 hours. So I
gotta hear that.
Chilling, driving into like where I was gonna stay for the night, and it literally, like, one Alex Jones podcast will change your perspective on the whole world. Like, it'll make you start thinking, like, holy crap, the globalists, they want the human race to go extinct, and they want to sacrifice us all to have control.
See, that part is what doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, if the entire human race goes extinct, then what? It's gonna be like, Don't Look Up, the movie.
I don't fucking.
You know what I mean?
Either.
So,
but it makes you it's scary, like, to hear that stuff, you know. And then people are like,
it's fun. It's fun to think about.
I mean, there's definitely, like, JFK. That was, like, real conspiracy. Like, there's too much evidence that the CIA did that. Then, like, have you watched, like, Oliver Stone's documentaries and stuff?
Oliver Stone. I feel like that name sounds from.
He did Rogan recently.
No, but when I think Oliver Stone, I'm thinking the guy from Manifest,
I don't
the
know.
TV show.
I
It's
don't
about
know.
a plane that disappears for 5 years and comes back. And I think that's the guy's name, Oliver Stone, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's
Okay, but if you do a deep dive on the JFK stuff,
What are you saying about the JFK thing? Like, what exactly are you saying?
Okay, so have you paid attention to this conspiracy theory at all?
No.
Because it's like it's not like a tinfoil hat thing. This is like legit. Everybody knows, but they're just the people at the top won't admit it. But everybody knows because there's so much evidence. Like basically like it's too much for me to go into, but they said there was one shooter who shot at JFK.
Okay.
And they put together this team to investigate it. But they broke all the rules of like autopsy. There's no like traceability that's accurate. Like there's holes in the story that came out with this report that this team that they assembled to
That they assemble. Who's they?
the government. So basically basically the JF no. This is real shit. Like,
No, I'm listening.
No, I'm gonna send you this documentary,
No.
bro. We'll come back next week. You'll watch it.
No, I'm joking. I'm fucking with you. But I'm just like
I'm dead ass,
I just
bro.
didn't know who they was. So
The Illuminati.
Yeah.
No, this is real. I'm not fucking with you.
No, I hear you. So
You're
they
like, fuck off.
No,
bro.
I hear you. So you a lot of people think that these guys hid evidence or fabricated evidence.
No. They just completely like pissed on our face and told us it was raining. They said there was one shooter and the bullet went like this through two guys. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh,
They said this one bullet killed. They went through one man's head down to like his wrist, from his wrist to another man's back,
okay.
into his knee, and then into his other knee, and it came out without any dents in it, which is impossible.
Yeah, no, so that sounds
Like
crazy.
they took, like any armorist or whatever would tell you if a bullet goes through you, it's going to have lots of damage to the tip. Like it's gonna be flattened out, at least.
Okay.
It's gonna be fucked up.
So was the bullet not flattened?
The bullet that they said was the bullet looked almost brand new. There was a couple of little,
Yeah.
but if it went through 2 people and 7 bones,
Yeah.
it would. That's first of all, that's not possible.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
That's why.
But that's like one thing. Then there's all these like, and basically,
I agree. There's some.
and basically the best theory I've heard is the CIA. The guy who ran it, his name was like Mullis, Robert Mullis at the time. And the CIA is so powerful. And JFK was like, had his own agenda that was like about, world peace and stuff. That's not what the CIA wanted. And so they got rid of him. And then they covered it up. Robert Mullis was on the team of investigators that put out this report that pissed in our face and told us it was raining.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
That's when the secret society like became a real thing, like, or like what we think of as modern day, like the powers that be.
Yeah.
Because we don't elect them. They like have once they get in, they can work their way up and stay there for as long as till they die.
Which I don't even understand.
And
those are the real criminals. Those are the real mafia right there.
They know the Central Intelligence their job is to like spy, espionage. So they know everything about everything that goes on. And they have more power than the president.
Yeah. So
And
I guess they know I'm still watching porn. There's not
Rebecca.
There's not much out there for you guys to spy on me about. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I hear you. There's definitely some shit with that. A lot of shit with that. But me and Steve have this conversation sometimes, and I go, but what can we do about it?
Nothing.
At the end of the day, it's just like
Just entertain us.
live our life,
Yeah.
and try to be good people, and hope to God they don't try to take you out.
But that's why
really
that's why the president's just a puppet, because they're like,
Yeah,
look
they're
what
just
happened to the last guy who had his own agenda.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we're.
They took him out.
I don't even know what to call it. It's just fucked.
I really actually discovered all this like 2 weeks ago though, so I'm brand new to this theory,
Yeah.
so I can't
hear
explain
you.
it
I
super
hear
well.
you.
Anyway, What do you want to talk about the fights?
There was something else we were talking about. I can't remember. TJ.
Corey Sandhagen, TJ. Yeah. Well, we were just talking about bantamweight as a whole. Like, you
Was
said
it
save it for the pod. Yeah, like just the top 5 or 6. Like,
What was it?
what I was saying was, I said I think Corey beat TJ.
Oh yeah, and I
And you were
agree.
like,
I
let's
agree with
save.
that. I do agree with that.
We have the same take. I've heard your take on this.
Yeah, I felt like he did more damage, and TJ just had more control over, like, not even control time. It was just like getting more takedowns and then hugging him for a little bit. And I'm saying hugging as a wrestler because I'm saying like he wasn't actively trying to do anything with the takedowns. It was just like, I'm gonna just quickly score a takedown, and hopefully that sways the judges and makes it look like I'm mixing it up. Which, if that's the scoring criteria, that should be stated as, if the fight is this close in the strike count, this will be the score tiebreaker in us judging and deciding. But it's not that black and white, so it makes it really tough for us to know how we're really doing in the fight. Because if that's the case, if I'm saying, hey, I'm thinking like, yo, I'm piecing this guy up. I'm landing some big shots. I'm winning this fight.
Yeah.
But then I get taken down. I get right back up. I'm not thinking like anything of it really.
Nothing happened with those takedowns. That was my argument with the Izzy and Rob fight that just happened. Like, people said, oh, Rob had X amount of takedowns. He had X amount of control time. I'm like, yeah, but Izzy he got out of them damage free every time. Like,
yeah. But the only thing I was saying about that, I felt like the strike count was so close that you had to look at the takedowns.
well,
That was the only thing that really separated the round, because there wasn't much other
I did a stat
factors.
breakdown of this.
Yeah.
And Izzy was definitely outstriking.
Yeah, I felt like when I was watching live, it felt like Robert was, but it was a really close fight. I wasn't mad out of the way. I didn't know who was going to get the nod, so.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
To me, when I watched it, I was like, obviously Izzy won.
Yeah, I didn't feel
Maybe not like 10-9 every round, but like, to me, I was not surprised Izzy won.
Yeah, I was like, it's either going to be 3-2, or if that one round, I forgot which one it was, is a swing round, then it could be 4-1 for Izzy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just a really, really close fight.
And then Corey and TJ.
Yeah, and that was a very similar situation. But it's just like, I don't think Corey's overrated. I think he's still amongst the best. I think he's just been fighting the toughest guys in the division. And I think when you do that, you're going to have some success, and sometimes you're not. And I think you get something out of it. You get valuable experience, like how he came back, styled on Moraes, styled on Frankie Edgar, and then lost a 2 to split decision, and lost a close one with 4-1 rounds against Peter Yan. And he didn't really do that bad. I was watching the fight again last night.
On 5 weeks, too.
On 5.5 weeks.
It could have been. I had that fight
notice.
3-2. I can't remember which rounds, but.
I think it would just been the first 2 rounds for Sandhagen. The other 3 were definitely Yan, and even round 2 was kind of hard to say Sandhagen definitively won, because I think the strike count was that much much closer, and it looked like Yan was starting to get into a groove a little bit, just after the many times I've watched it again.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 rounds last night and then got distracted, and I agree. I think now I would probably score round 2 to Peter Yan.
Yeah.
But this is what I was gonna say before you told me to save it for the pod. So, like, I was talking to Dennis about this earlier. Like, I was saying, you know how people like Peter Yan's the best striker in bantamweight. Like, I think most people would agree. And you're the best grappler in bantamweight. Like, you're the most elite, skilled grappler.
I mean, I think Ronnie Yaya's in that conversation, if I'm being honest.
What is he doing at your level?
I mean, he's got the most submission wins, but at my level, it's kind of tough to say that. Ronnie Yaya, but he is right there with everybody else, I think. Yaya is a beast, man. That guy grabs you. It could be a rough night in the office.
Did you fight him?
I was supposed to, then I ended up fighting Mahalo Moraes. So that's how that fight happened. He pulled out.
You didn't want the smoke.
I don't know what. I really have no idea whatever happened with it. It would have been a fun fight because we would have I think I would have obliged in the grappling to see who was who, and I think he would have reverted to striking because I think my wrestling pressure. I think he's really good with like control, top pressure, but yeah, that's another.
Well,
He's
yeah.
solid. But yeah, myself and
Follow
Jan.
follow me through this. So you and Jan are like, you're the best. You're at the top, and you're the best grappler. He's at the top. He's the best striker. And then in the top 5 or 6, I feel like the comparable like Corey Sandhagen would be like the next best striker, and Merab would be the next best grappler. So I was saying like, you're like the Peter Yan of I can't remember. I had like a good point, but like, do you feel like Merab and like Corey are like, you're 1, 2, like if you and Peter Yan are 1, they're like the identicals to you guys, but right below in skill.
I think so, but I think it's hard to deny TJ as well,
That's facts. Yeah.
and also Jose Aldo, because Aldo can grapple, and he can freaking strike.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I think hurts him is the longevity if he could do that over 5 rounds. I mean, he did it with Rob Font, but I think he got the fight at a pace that was a little bit more comfortable for him. Than we saw with the Yan fight, if you stay in his face and you constantly keep pushing him, like he's gonna punish you. But if you punish him back, eventually it gets to him because he exerts so much energy when he throws and kicks and all that. So I think it almost does him a disservice if he doesn't get you out of there in like the first 1 or 2 rounds. Even against Cheeto Vera, Cheeto came on hard in that second round, and then he took him down the 3rd round, and held his back the entire time. So he's smart and he's in the mix as well. So I don't know. This division is just stacked. Like there's so many good guys. That other kid Umar is pretty sick too. He's slick on the feet, good footwork, nasty dexterity in his legs when he throws those question mark kicks. That right question mark kick, and then his grappling is almost very identical to Khabib's.
Is he Nurmagomedov?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's his cousin.
Yeah, he can strike too.
He can strike.
Yeah.
Too, yeah. So it's.
Didn't he get a knockout in his last win?
Nah, he fought the guy from Long Island, Brian Kelleher.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, one of the guys I trained with.
Did he wrestle him?
He threw a couple question mark kicks. Kelleher defended a couple takedowns. None of the question mark kicks landed flush, and then Kelleher kind of he got taken down and kind of gave up his back a little bit, and then the submission came shortly after that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, my take was like, Merab is like, I worded it better earlier. I can't remember what I was saying.
So good. What was I gonna say? We got a break from the fights this weekend, and
I hate these weekends.
yeah,
There's no fights.
it's usually like just a void.
It's
But
like,
there were
what
some
the
good
fuck do you
fights.
do?
Like Curtis Blades winning, I think he deserves some props for the way that he came back and got a huge win. Obviously, he beat Jairzinho, but that was a very, very, let's call it what it is. That was a very, very boring fight. I mean, he fought smart,
Snooze fest.
but he did absolutely nothing of note other than maintaining top control for almost 15 minutes of a 15-minute fight.
He definitely heard the criticism
Yeah.
after that. Like, he fights boring. He's like, I got to do something entertaining. And I think that was, like, pretty clear. Like,
Yeah. And I think Dawkins was a guy that he could strike with, even though he can crack himself. But
yeah.
I feel bad for Dawkins because if anyone's followed his story in the lead up to the Derek Lewis, he quit his police job so that he can fight full-time, focus on training. Then he loses to Derek Lewis and then loses this one. I'm like, bro, 2 knockouts and TKO, whatever. I'm like, it's just tough, man. Because I know that's like when you take that chance, like, all right, I'm going to go the full professional fighter route and see what happens. But that division, you get clipped by anybody, it could be lights out. So
Yeah. Even the boring wrestler, like Curtis Blades.
yeah.
That's crazy. Heavyweight is so stacked now. Like,
Finally,
yeah.
they got some new blood. I like Curtis. He's a good dude, really nice guy. He's 31 years old, so he's still got some juice left to squeeze. But yeah, he did a great job winning like that, and I think that was huge for his career and perception in the public eye.
Yeah. But it was crazy because they were talking about it like in the booth as the fight was happening. Like they're like, Curtis wants to get a knockout.
Yeah.
So that was like the story, and then he did it, which was epic.
Grasso won. She beat Joanne Calderwood. Rear naked choke in round 1. Man, I'm gutted for Calderwood. I like JoJo a lot. Grasso's really nice, but that's 3 in a row. She lost to Grasso, Talia Santos, rear naked choke, 2 rear naked chokes in a row. Lauren Murphy split decision. And before that, she beat Jessica I. And before that, she lost by armbar to Jennifer Maya. So she seems like she has a tough time with the submissions specialist. But I don't know. I don't know where she goes from here. I hope they give her one more shot, one more crack. She's 36, though. So, she's married now with Coach John Wood. Maybe she just wants to chill. I don't know. Whatever she wants to do. Hopefully the UFC does give her, offer her, and she got to make a decision.
Yeah. Do you think, if you lose 3 times, do you start to reconsider things? Or do you think
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, especially at that age, you start to think, if you do get cut, do you want to get back on the hamster wheel and work your way back? It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Where do you go?
It's tough.
Back to, local promotions?
Local promotions, you go overseas.
Imagine going back from the UFC to Ring of Combat. Not to diss Ring of Combat.
No, it's
just the
it's
different
a grind,
level.
Man.
Yeah.
It's like
selling tickets again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was like, oh man,
I don't want to do that again.
Do fighters even do that? If you get cut from the UFC and no one picks you up, would you? Who has anybody ever done that? I'm sure someone has.
Oh yeah, no, guys get cut all the time and then they work their way back up.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's humble right there.
It takes some work, especially if you're young. Time is on your side, so it's just why not? But at her age, it's almost you made some good money over the years. You live in Vegas. You're married. You're chilling. I hope they got the investment. They got the new gym. She can help out with coaching. Still be a great practice partner for her teammates and stuff. Roxanne just retired. I'm not saying JoJo should retire. I'm saying obviously she can do whatever she wants. But I'm just hoping the UFC does offer her one more shot. Because, they gave Jessica I another one after she lost a couple. Mm-hmm. So
they don't always cut. I feel like there's a lot more people.
Yeah,
no, I'm saying they don't always cut after 3 fights.
No, mostly for the females, though. The guys, they normally, even sometimes 2, you get the axe. That's why when I lost those 2 split decision, I was like, this is crazy. I was like, if I'm not cut now.
But were you worried?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
I felt like we were both fighting for our contract when I.
Even though they were split decision losses.
Yeah.
And you
against top 5 guys in the world.
Do you think they look at it do you think let's say you lose your 3rd fight in a row, but Dana thinks you won the fight? Do you think Dana gives you a different do you think he'll look at it differently?
Yeah.
Because sometimes he disagrees with the judges.
Yeah. That means he gave Jose Aldo a title shot off of a loss. You know what I mean? So.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah.
When you really think about that. But to be fair, he was Jose Aldo.
Yeah. So
sometimes
I get it. I get it, but it's just the merit system almost means jack shit. So. Yeah.
Usually it's pretty good, I think.
Did you see the Barberina fight? That one was crazy.
That was crazy.
I
had Brown winning.
Nah, he lost that 3rd round.
I still thought he won the fight though.
First and second? I thought he won the first for sure. But the second round,
I was kind of in and out watching.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was the right decision. I thought he was winning the 3rd round until Barberina caught him with some shit at the end of that 3rd round with a minute left, and I was like, the tides have definitely just turned, and it looked like he was almost about to get him out of there. So that's why I was like, that's enough for me to be like, he wins the round in a close contested 3rd round. I was like, Barberina was getting the brunt end of the stick and getting beaten up in that 3rd round, and then he just came back and put the finishing touches on.
Do you think the round by round scoring system could be adapted to a full how just look at the full fight on its own?
Well, in that case, let's not even take any breaks. Let's just fight the whole time through.
Yeah, but then you probably get a lot of more brain damage and stuff.
How? What's the difference?
Because you get way tired way faster, and you might get clocked with something.
Okay, no. Here's the opposite side of that. You get a minute break to get more re-energized to come back and throw harder shots.
Yeah, but you're both more protected because you have more energy to protect yourself, in theory. Because don't you think if you go 25 straight minutes, there's gonna be more damage done? If you're 25
you're still
minutes,
fighting 25 minutes, so I just don't see how.
I don't know. I just feel like the rest make it a little safer. You tell me. You're the fighter.
I feel like the rest would give me more time to be like, all right, I got a minute to recoup and then come back and try to throw some other crazy Kamehameha waves type shit, which is another Dragon Ball Z reference. But
I know that part.
so,
But
I don't know.
you get like I don't know. I would feel like some guys would just get so tired after like 13 straight minutes that like they're more likely to get hit, not see something coming because they're so tired. And when you don't see something coming, you're like, that's when they really do damage.
Yes
That's
and
what
no.
I would think.
I feel like yes and no. I don't know. I think if you have 25 minutes to work, it's hard to keep that pace that you come out with in the first round for the entire 25 minutes. I feel like someone's going to break. And I think when someone slows down or you do more clinching, you do more wrestling because you're like, yo, bro, I need to give my arms a break from throwing all these crazy-ass punches and strikes. That's what I would think.
Well, yeah, maybe. The reason I ask is because I feel like sometimes guys might win only 2 rounds of a 5-round fight. But in those 2 rounds, they won, they did way better. But then I guess you give them the 10-8. And then you look at the overall fight statistics, and the guy who lost the fight did more in the
overall
if you
fight.
look at in the overall fight, but not round by round.
That's why I say if it was just straight through, then you just judge the entire fight and it's like, all right, so who won this scrap? You know what I mean? Who won the scrap after the schoolyard in the back alley? You know,
I don't know.
That's
I can't
what
imagine combat sports without rounds, but I can imagine them scoring it as a full fight without scoring it round by round.
I feel like it's hard to. I don't know. How would you keep record of what happened each round, and then still try to subjectively go, okay, I think he won the entire fight. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough, man.
Maybe they have like people in a lab far away judging.
There's no
like stats and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's no like perfect system. I don't think.
No.
But they should have scored like boxing. Like even the Moreno Figueiredo fight, like him getting dropped and then getting right back up and then throwing strikes right away should not automatically make that a 10-9 round. It should not. No. But if you drop me and I'm not getting up because you hurt me,
to
that's
me,
that's all right. I won that. I'm winning this round, and I should win this round because I dropped your ass. But then if I come back and land some crazy strikes or I almost submit you, say you knock me down in the first minute of round 1, and then as you go to the ground, follow up, I'm hurt bad. But then I get to the point where I sweep you, get on your back, and I'm about to choke you out, and I have 3 minutes of control time, and I almost finish the fight. Who wins the round? You know what I mean? So it's just like you had that one moment, and then I had that one moment. So it's like.
Because if you almost choked the person out.
It's just like you almost knocked me out, but you didn't. I almost choked you out, but I didn't. How do you score that?
Well, aren't you supposed to score for damage?
You're supposed to score for damage. That's what I would think.
So then they would probably give it to the guy who knocked the other guy down.
I would agree with that. But if that moment was only 20 seconds of the round, maybe 30 seconds of the round, because like I said, it's like within the first minute of the first round.
Yeah.
And then I come back and I sweep you and I get it with 3.5 minutes of control time. It's just like, damn, that kind of just erased everything that just happened. It almost makes it look like
that makes it feel like
a lucky punch. You know, so not a lucky punch.
Well, you know, it's crazy because you judge the round at the end of the round. So a lot of times I think there's this recency bias when you're putting down on the score. Like you forget what happened in the first 2 minutes because the last 3 minutes were so dominant on one side.
Yeah.
But if I fucked you up in the first 2 minutes, then it's like a little.
So
it could get It could be forgotten.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I get it when these judges make mistakes, but sometimes I just wish there was some accountability for like the stuff that they say, especially when it's so far off, when everyone's watching and like, what the hell are you looking at?
Well, that's why you should have more judges.
Yeah, I agree. Joe Rogan has said that, and I agree.
That's Joe's take, and I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's not my take. But there's an argument for that. You want to talk about these fights?
There was 2 really good ones. The one I would just say real quick, the spinning elbow from Gutierrez over Denai, Bakriel Denai. He was on a 3-fight knockout streak and then just got TKO with a spinning back fist and elbow strikes on the ground. That was a nasty win for the bantamweight division. I think he won 7 in a row now. Fuck. Yeah, this guy's good. Split decision.
That's crazy.
He's got to finish with leg kicks. Andre Ewell. So now it's about time he probably gets a step up in competition. And then the other one, Kai Kara-France beating Askarov.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
What a fight.
First round looks like he's out of there. It looks like he's about to get choked out. First round, Askarov locks up the title shot. Boom, game over. He survives. Somehow, some way he survives. And it comes back the second round. He takes the second round, 1-1 going into the third. And I just wasn't sure how they were going to score that third round. But
yeah, I mean, I always look at it like if the striker holds off on your advances, even if you like hold him against the fence, but you can't do anything with it, or you get him down, but he gets out of it. I always count that towards the guy who gets out of the takedown. You know?
yeah, but what? Why?
Well, I feel like there's if you're if let's say you take Peter Yan down, but he gets back up pretty easily.
Yeah,
You gotta. I don't think you can count the takedown against him for much. But if you get him down, you hold him there. He tries to get out, and everything he does, you have an answer for.
yeah.
And you land punches, and you get your hooks in and stuff.
But what if Askarov takes him down, Kai gets back up, but he's pinned against the cage, and he can't get off the cage?
Depends on what he does after. If he does get off, what does he do with it?
Yeah, but I'm saying he's pinned against the cage, currently pinned against the cage. Then it's like Askar's still winning the situation because he's controlling where the fight takes place, essentially, because he's offensive.
Or is
and
he?
You're on the defense the entire time. Unless you're doing defense and offense where you're landing knee strikes, landing elbow strikes to make it an offensive situation. That's what I'm like. It's such a complicated sport. It's not just like black and white.
Like to reference the Robin Izzy fight again. I didn't count. I looked at it positively when Rob got a takedown and Izzy got up easily for Izzy. I counted that toward Izzy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, you literally did nothing. You threw your best at him and you got nothing out of it.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I agree with that unless the strike count is so close where it's just like that's the only thing that separated the fight. Like I look at these fights like if it was out in the street and I took you down.
Yes.
Like how would that takedown have affected you?
That's how I look
Would you
at
have
it.
bumped your elbow and go Would you have been like Peter Griffin like
Right.
that type of thing?
Don't you think like a lot of the UFC fights have become a lot more gamified? Like
Yeah.
people are using the
game.
rules
Yeah.
more than just
Competition.
fighting. Because like I try to think of it like if I'm giving my opinion on something, I'm thinking of it as a fight,
Yeah.
not as a sport necessarily.
And that's where I don't know how judges judge because I'm like, what stands out to you? What
And if
makes
it's a
you judge
sport,
this way?
yeah, give us the rules. Let us so we all know.
And everyone who judges should be judging by that criteria. Essentially around the same rubric. It shouldn't be like this judge was here today, so it favors this type of style tonight, and then this fight card favors this type of style tonight. So if I know like this is what you are more experienced in, and I could do more of that, I know I'm probably gonna get the nod from you versus the other guy who's probably looking at it and not really understanding what the hell they're looking at.
Yeah.
So
It's weird.
It's a difficult thing.
Like I do feel like a lot of guys like in the TJ fight or like even sometimes when Colby fights, I feel like they just try to like hold people down for a while.
Yeah.
And like because they know that that's typically favored in judging, but it's like that's not fighting. In my opinion, it's like really boring fighting. And if they were in the street,
Yeah.
if you're in the street, like in a street fight, if me and you get mad at each other at a bar and we start fighting, and then the cops come and get us after 15 minutes, and it played out exactly like that, who would the crowd think won? That's how I'm thinking of it. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I think damage has to be like,
Damage should be number one.
yeah,
But damage, I think it gets to a point like we were saying earlier, like an early knockdown. It looked like you're gonna finish the guy within 30 seconds of the fight, 40 seconds, 45, even a minute, and the other guy gets 3.5 minutes of control time, and almost finishes you. Throws a couple little small pop shots here and there. So it's just like, well, what scores more? Like I don't know. Like it's subjective, and that's why it's like, what do you think is more effective in that situation? And you got to score each round almost like a separate fight. It's literally like 5 different fights in a 5-round fight, 3 different fights in a 3-round fight. because each one should be scored differently, unless you score the entire fight like Pride rules.
Do you find like there's the argument that like the last 2 rounds hold more weight in a 5-round fight? Do you agree?
Yes, but that's not the way the game is. It's not the way the game is played. It's not the way the game is scored. Like if we're talking what the street would say, like if I saw the last bit of that fight and that's what I saw, I'm like, damn, that guy won, that girl won. But if I'm watching and I'm scoring it the way it's supposed to be scored round by round, then that's how you gotta score it.
There are definitely. I feel like
That's why
there's a lot of issues with it. Like, because who cares if you win the first 3 if I win the last 2?
Yeah, 'cause I'm like, damn, but I beat your ass before we went home. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. So it's just like, I
like
don't know.
the last, like I had the last say. Like
Yeah.
you were only good for this long, and then I had the last, and then I dominated. Like after you had your say, I
Yeah.
had the final say. Like
It's almost like the Patriots versus Atlanta Super Bowl.
yeah, like who gives a flying fuck what you did in the first 3.5 quarters?
Yeah. I came back. I won the game. You choked. You blew it. PD on.
Bruh. Best actor.
We're at an hour already. Damn, that was quick.
Are we really?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we're good with that. We could wrap.
I'm thinking I got 2 more in me. To be honest.
What, questions?
Hours.
Oh. Nah, I got a train. I got one more training session.
Holy shit. It's 4 o'clock.
Yeah. I got one more workout tonight, guys, so
Wait, I got some final words. Aljo's going to take Peter down and hold him there and beat his ass on the ground and Khabib his ass. That's my final word.
mic drop. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see. It's going to be a good night, though.
3rd round submission. That's my
Third?
pick. Yeah.
I'm hoping for a first, but we'll see.
No, play with it for a while.
Nah, fuck that. I want to get in and out. All that stupid shit about, oh, you're playing with... Dude, I want to go home.
What's the after party situation?
Nothing set yet. I'm not even thinking about that. I just really want to just freaking smash this guy, and that's really it. I'm literally not even thinking about partying, like, at all. Like, I've had no thoughts about partying after the fight. It's literally just been, I just want to fight.
Me and Steamroller were talking about it.
But
You should delegate that to someone else.
yeah, for sure. My manager.
Set some shit up.
But, all right, guys, we'll see you guys later. You can find Jake on IG, Jake Fine.
At Jake Fine Martial Arts on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
All that good stuff.
Yeah. Go check me out.
Check him out. AljamainSterling.com. Grab some gear before the fight. See you guys later. Check out my OnlyFans, Funkmaster MMA, and all my socials. And check out the vlogs, too. We got some training vlogs coming out. You guys probably seen the ones that I posted and the ones that Jake posted, the creator of these. So check them out, and see you
They're
guys
fire.
later. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for all the support.